All they do is lie there. And just think about all them people. It's too late to fuck.
Los Angeles, 1973. A nun accompanies a girl on her walk from school. She gets in a car with an unknown man, her trust unearned. But she doesn't have to fear him, no. It's the 70s, man. That's just not something you worry about. But the three strangers watching from a nearby van, each wearing a comical disguise, glasses with fake noses, the kind of thing you'd expect from a comedy sketch. Yeah, she should be worried about them. Candy Snatchers is the story of three kidnappers, Eddie, Jesse, and Alan, who kidnap 16-year-old Candy, whose father manages a prominent jewelry store. They bury Candy in the hills outside LA with a breathing hole and demand a ransom. But of course, things go awry. Alliances are formed and broken, grave crimes are committed, and the ugliest sides of humanity are brought out to play. Also, there's an autistic kid. He's adorable. Candy Snatchers. So Candy Snatchers is probably the big surprise for me from this Black Friday at Vinegar Syndrome. I know I've said that about Taming the T-Rex and about Spookies, but I think this is the one that most shocked me on its quality. First off, here's the Blu-ray. It's gorgeous to look at. Got that normal embossed title. Two different variations on either side, and if you take it out, you get another version of the cover art. And there's even a fourth version inside. There's also 2 discs, 1 DVD, 1 Blu-ray, kind of a standard package for Vinegar Syndrome. There's a lot of similarities here to Tarantino movies. Most specifically, if you want to get really direct, the ear scene and even Michael Madsen's character in Reservoir Dogs are the most obvious. The general tone, the snappy dialogue, the very meta approach to the filmmaking, it's all very similar to what would come from Tarantino's filmography. Obviously, it's not a direct one-to-one comparison, but you can definitely see this is one of those types of movies that he goes on and on and on about in interviews. In fact, he even went on about it in an interview with MTV, where he described it as a depraved little gem back in 2007. Now, when I first got the movie, in fact, actually before I even got it, when I first ordered the film, my big hang-up was I was scared this was going to be a rape movie. It's Vinegar Syndrome. It's a movie called The Candy Snatchers. It sounds, well, kind of rapey. And look, just straightforward with you, there is rape in the movie, but it's not the kind of thing I was expecting.
She's the kind of a girl you get your hands on only in a dream.
There is certainly brutality. It ain't pretty, but the overall tone of the film corrects itself nicely and stays pretty lighthearted and gonzo for the most part, even when delving into some pretty dark shit. So, just be aware there is some rape stuff. It is disturbing, especially, I'm not gonna spoil too much, but the circumstances are very gross. But honestly, if rape's gonna be your big hang up in an exploitation movie from the 70s, then maybe just stay away from Vinegar Syndrome titles. Just throwing it out there.
You're 2 walnuts and 100 pounds short. Telling me what to do.
The film also features one of those twists that just leaves you shocked and laughing at the same time. It's one of my favorite twists I've seen in a movie in a long time. I don't want to overplay it because it's not like a mind bending just like whoa twist, but it's very much one of those like, oh fuck, they went there kind of twists. And it's really fun. Again, it feels like something that would not be out of place in a Tarantino movie. I think that if you had this exact script come out today and, Tarantino had his name plastered on it and he had his cinematographer and, it was all, the Tarantino package, you'd probably be looking at, maybe an Oscar nom. You'd be looking at a lot of people talking about how genius the film is. But instead it's, this first time and only time director, Gurdon Trueblood. And yes, Gurdon Trueblood, that's his name. Not shitting with you. He has the coolest name of any director I've ever come across. Well, that's not true. Dick Moss. He's got the second best name for any director I've ever come across. And it's one of those movies that just kind of faded into time until it got brought back. And I think part of that might have been when Tarantino suggested it. Maybe that renewed some interest. I do know that it was definitely sought after by exploitation aficionados for a long time. But it's finally on Blu-ray thanks to Vinegar Syndrome, who, as always, knock it out of the park. As far as extras on the disc, we get an interview with Gordon Trueblood, who has an introduction to the film that is pulled from the interview footage. The interview itself is 14 minutes long and presents us with such factoids as the impetus for the film's concept and Gordon's humorous relationship with his editor. We get an interview with producer Gary Adelman that presents a fairly dry but informative 8-minute look at the production and distribution of the film. It's a little bite-sized for my taste, but it's totally watchable. Finally, Vince Martinello, who plays Eddie, spends 10 minutes talking about working on the film and his pact with Gordon Trueblood, which resulted in the role of Eddie being created specifically for him. We also get a stills gallery full of basically just newspaper clippings and old promo art for the film. It does feature probably my favorite critic diss of all time. I'm not really big on critic disses, but let's see. It's "Sometimes you just wish the projector would quit," which that's great. Whoever said that is a fucking asshole, but and wrong. But that is a great critic quote, and it's kind of one of my favorite things about Vinegar Syndrome is they kind of delight in the kind of bad movie aesthetic, even when the movies, you and I, we know that they're not bad movies, but to the general public, they're exploitation movies. They're they're shitty, they're crappy, and I love that Vinegar Syndrome really exploits that and has a good time with it. Overall, The Candy Snatchers is definitely my favorite of my Black Friday Vinegar Syndrome haul this year, which is extra surprising because again, I wasn't really planning on buying it at first, but here we are now. I own this little beauty, and I'm just really happy because I can't wait to show this to friends. I can't wait to get the name out there. I can't wait to trick them into watching it because I gotta say the name Candy Snatchers is so just gross sounding. But of course, it's just in relation to the main character, Candy. Trueblood and his writing partner, Brian Gindoff, I think is how you say his name. They knew what they were doing. Originally, they were going to call it Candy Snatch. Come on. Then they had to change it to Candy Snatchers. They knew what they were doing, but I think from a historical perspective, it kind of backfired because I think a lot of people aren't going to want to watch this because, like me, they thought it was going to be like really rapey. And, it's okay. I'm okay with rape in exploitation movies so long as it serves a purpose and it's not like the sole factor. If it's not used to be titillating, then I'm fine with it. And I was really worried it would be actually attempting to be titillating, and it just, I don't know, it's super gross to me. And instead we get this just really fun, weird, very darkly comedic crime thriller. And I can't recommend this enough. The filmmaking on display is assured and light on its feet and showcases a talent that was frankly underappreciated in its time. The fact that Gordon Trueblood didn't become the next big thing it's a bit of a bummer, actually. And I can really only take solace in the fact that he seems pretty good-humored about the thing, and he had a really good writing career afterward. This is a true hidden gem, and I'm so glad it's on Blu-ray. I'm so glad that Vinegar Syndrome put it out, and I can't wait for more people to experience The Candy Snatchers.
The perfect crime.
And that's it. I know this was a very short review. I'm actually trying to whittle these things down so that they are nice and bite-sized. I know that no one wants to sit through a 20-minute video talking about these Blu-rays. They want to get the, long and short of it. Unless you don't, please comment below. Let me know what you think of these videos. Tell me what you like, what you don't like, and I will try to whittle it down to the best possible form factor for you. Please like, subscribe, hit the bell icon, all that shit. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all that shit. All the links are down below, as well as where you can buy the Blu-ray from Vinegar Syndrome directly. And until next time, remember, money is the root of all happiness. No, baby, put the thing on your thing, yeah.